Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, Bill Cannon, and again, this is, I keep saying it's one of the last episodes we're going to have from my yard, which a lot of folks from England call it my garden. Just different terms to use, you know. Uh, it's been a stressful week. I told you guys my wife had a very serious operation last Wednesday, and it's been a series of just taking it to different doctors. And but today we got some really great news, and just I'm sort of elated, even though I feel emotionally beaten down, and I can't. Really no right to say that when my wife underwent an 8 to 9 hour operation. So I'm just thankful that she's going to be okay. She's got a long road ahead of her, but I think she's going to be okay. She's tough. She's tougher than me, And thank you guys for your prayers, but I think she's going to be okay. So what better way than to talk to you guys? Thank you guys so much. I like to be in my garden, as you Brits call. I'm waiting to see all the Brits show up. They're not here yet. Maybe they're on a little bit of delay, but thank you guys so much for showing up. I don't know if you guys saw, but last night we had one of the most interesting guests that we've had, and we always have interesting guests. Hello, Marie Green. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's so nice to see you here. Christine Melcher, Trish Beard. Hi from Cornwall, UK. The UK people are starting to show up. That's so fantastic. Thank you so much, you guys, for all your prayers. I really appreciate it. So I don't know if you guys watched last night. We didn't get a real big audience. But we had an amazing guest, and not just a celebrity, but a superman, a great guy. His name is Chaz Palminteri, and you may recognize his name from that famous movie, The Bronx Tale, which not only did he star in it, but he wrote it, and in 1989 he did what Sylvester Stallone did in Rocky. He People loved his one man show, and it was showing in L.A., and it created a real buzz in L.A. And he was offered money from all these Hollywood producers to sell his screenplay, and they wanted to buy it. And it started at 400,000, and it got up to $1 million, and he turned it down. When you talk about a life changing thing. He turned down all that money because he wanted to star in it. He wanted to play the lead role of Sonny, and he wanted to write the screenplay. And all of these Hollywood people, of course, no, we need an A-list actor playing this lead role, and you're not an A-list actor. So, but he stuck to his guns, and he refused to sell it. And at one point, he was offered $1 million to sell his screenplay, but he stuck to his guns and says, "No, I won't sell it unless I get to star in it. I get to play the part of Sonny." So lo and behold, what happens? It created such a buzz in L.A. 400 to 500 people were selling it out every single night. Robert De Niro showed up, and he went to see him after the Truth, Police Off the Cuff. I'm a fan of the show. Bring on more detectives like Porteous and Panuccio. We did bring on Detective Pat recently. I'll get back to that in a second. Anyway, Chaz Palminteri eventually, Robert De Niro approached him and said, "Your screenplay is amazing, and it's just an amazing show, amazing characters. I want to back it, but as long as I can direct it." He goes, "You could play Sonny." He goes, "I'll play the bus driver, your father in real life," and that's how the deal was cut, and the rest is history. But one of the reasons I really liked Chaz Palminteri is because he's an every man's guy. He's a regular guy, and he happens to be a huge supporter of the police, which in this day and age I found such a plus. Such a great thing, because in case you guys haven't noticed, in the last year and a half, 2 years, the police have been pounded, not just nationally, probably internationally, and I think unwarranted that they've been pounded. So, We all know the story of George Floyd, but one cop did that, not the entire profession, and the entire profession has been and is being punished for the actions of one person. I wonder if there's any other profession that could happen to, that the bad actions of one person. Michelle Marty's, hi, good man, great show last night. Hope your wife is healing well. Thank you so much. South Africa's in the house. Phil Grimaldi looks like Robert De Niro. I thought he looked more like Joe Pesci, but that's all right. Shame you wasn't in it, Bill. I'm sure there would be a apart from I've been so I talk about my acting and stand-up comedy and stuff. With the pandemic and everything, I sort of got away from stand-up comedy and also acting because the only acting classes there were on Zoom, and I didn't really want to take an acting class on Zoom. So now I become so engrossed with this podcast. It's almost like I don't have time to do the stand-up, nor is my heart in it right now, and the acting too. But I'm not ever going to say no. I may go back to acting again, and or even stand-up, or both. But for right now, I'm so engrossed in doing this podcast. It's so, for me, overwhelming, and so there's so many parts to it. There's so many moving parts to it, and I enjoy doing it so much. Police Off the Cuff premiere set for 75 minutes from now. That's great. We got another premiere. I think he's Josh. I'm not sure what are you premiering. Is it going to be another episode of Jimmy Calandra, or what show is that? Uh, Thank you, Michelle. Part 3 of Jimmy Calandra. Okay, great. Some of our videos, even the more successful ones, Josh, our producer, who's also the producer for Duty Ron. In fact, Duty Ron hooked me up with Josh, and it's been a great marriage so far. He's been cutting up or editing our videos and making them. In fact, the one with Jimmy Calandra is being cut into 3 parts. So it's there's always moving parts every single day, and I believe Phil Grimaldi and I are going to go live tonight at 9 p.m. Talking more about the Gabby Petito cases, the case, things that are happening right now with the case. We'll give some expert commentary on it. I notice a lot of times, Candy Scarrett, you liked the show last night? Candy, I loved the show last night. Thank you so much for saying that. Marie Green, Princess Mitch, hi. Boy, I didn't see Princess Mitch in the chat. Scott Wagner, hello, Bill. Great show with Chaz. Scott, thank you for all your support. You're a great former NYPD detective. I appreciate your support. You've been with us from the beginning. Scott Wagner did one of the earliest shows when we first started 2.5 years ago. Hello, Princess Mitch. Good to see you. Here. Folks, I don't mean not to, to leave you out. I appreciate everyone. Angela Eng, she's in the chat. That's great. Rebecca, what part of PA are you in? We got to wake up more of the UK people. I only saw a few of them. I don't see anyone from Ireland. I see people from South Africa, a couple from Good Morning from California, Ricefield. Hello, Bill from England, Catherine D. Angela Eng is in the house, as always. Christian Bangdal, hi, holla. That's great. Spokane, Washington. Wow. It's tea time in the UK. Yeah, it's tea time everywhere, right? Or someone's opening up a bottle of Cabernet somewhere, probably in Napa right now, You're a fan, Andy the Gabby Cabby is talking police off the cuff in the UK. That's so great, Gabby. Gabby the Cabby, he really came to the support of Joe Murray, our great defense attorney friend, who always causes controversy every time he's on our show. But people love him and people love to hate him. I happen to love him, Lincoln Clay, I didn't eat lunch yet, but you know something? I bought some amazing Irish potato salad that they make in the supermarket near us with bacon and everything. And I feel so guilty when I start eating it because you can't eat a half a pound. You have to eat the whole damn pound. And, I've been trying to get to the gym every day, but it's been so busy with my wife and, with her situation right now. I haven't been able to get to the gym. And my mother-in-law's been staying with us. I don't want to make any mother-in-law jokes right now because she's doing a great job and she's helping me out. My son still lives with us. He's 29. He's in cybersecurity, but he's moving to Denver, probably next month, Denver, Colorado. So we'll be without my oldest son soon. Well, not without him. He'll be moving away like kids are supposed to do, right? Joe Murray gets in the neck all the time. Marie Green, that's great. Emre, hello, Sergeant Bill and friends. You guys like the title Sergeant Bill and Detective Phil, right? I love that too. You know, getting back to Chaz Palminteri, the way, you know, it's not so easy to book an A-list celebrity to come on a podcast. And naturally, I just didn't reach out to to his uh, his agent or his personal assistant. I needed help. And one of my buddies, Cliff Moylan, who I studied, I took an 8-week stand-up comedy class with him 7 years ago. And Cliff Moylan is a legitimate actor, and he's from Boston. He's Irish. Is that an accident? That me own kind will help me out? Is it an accident? I don't think so. But Cliff Moylan studies with Chaz Palminteri. What a great, amazing acting teacher. You know something? If I go back to studying acting, I think I'm going to look Chaz Palminteri up. I'll see if he'll accept me because I'm not in the league of an actor as these guys. The Cliff Moylan one day is going to be a star. But I would love to study with him because, you know, it's, if you don't study and you don't work hard at acting, you don't get any better. It's like anything else. I play guitar. When I put the guitar down and I pick it up, I can't expect great things unless I practice, you know. It's the same thing with anything in the arts, you know. Everything you do in the arts, you gotta practice. And if you don't, you know, you can just play your old songs and not get any better. So, you know, Chaz, if you go on YouTube and search Chaz Palminteri, he's done a lot of podcasts. He was on with Michael Franchese, who happens to be a former Maid guy, but who has an unbelievable podcast. I think he's got, you know, he's probably got close to 1 million followers, and his show is incredible. And he's a smart guy. He's very thoughtful. Bill Ryan, I didn't know Bill Ryan was a good guitarist. Oh, that's cool. All you Irish people, I love Irish music too, and I love that tune Galway Girl. I know it wasn't really written by a native Irishman. I'm trying to think who wrote it now, but I love that tune, you know. Well, I took a stroll down the old long walk on a day, That's, I just gave you the first line. I don't want people to start dropping out because I started singing a song off key, but that's called Galway Girl, and it's become a huge popular song in Ireland, you know. Denise Perez, how are you? Yeah, I'm in Devon, PA. You know, JT, I worked in Manhattan North, and the question was, did I ever have to arrest anyone from any of the 5 families? I didn't have any that I saw, any mafia arrests up in Manhattan North when I was there. And I'm not saying they didn't work up there, but most of them were from Brooklyn, you know, Queens, Staten Island, and they really weren't, you know, they plied their trade in Manhattan, but that's not where they lived. That's not where they did their hits, other than Sparks, where Paul Castellano was whacked in 1985. There wasn't much La Cosa Nostra activity in regards to the violence in Manhattan. So I didn't see much of it, but there was still, we had a unit on the NYPD called OCID, Organized Crime Investigative Division. And they followed the wise guys all over the place, all the time. Rayos, oh right, well Rayos, yeah. I actually did work the murder at Rayos, I forget exactly what year that was. But if you guys don't know, Rayos is a famous Italian restaurant up on 114th, 115th Street and Pleasant Avenue. 114th and Pleasant Avenue. And it's like a little corner, and you can't get reservations to Rayos. There's only 8 tables. So if you don't know someone or you're not someone on the A list, to get reservations there, it'll be like, no, Scott, it couldn't have been 99. Couldn't have been 1999, because I was in Homicide when the Rayos murder happened. And I didn't get to Homicide till, what year was it? It was 2002 I got there. So, Anyway, yeah, you got to know someone. Anyway, this murder at Rayo's inside the restaurant occurred, and a Broadway singer was singing at the bar, and some wise guy at the bar, and he actually was a wise guy. Um, he objected to her singing, and he made some really obnoxious comment, a filthy comment. He said, "I wish that wailing slut would shut the hell up." And this old guy, Maui Swift, it was 2004, the murder at Rayos. Thank you for pulling that up. Thank you so much. You know, all these years and these murders, they run into each other, and you don't remember what year it was. Anyway, this old time bookie hanging out at the bar. His name was Louis Barone. His nickname was Louis Lump Lump. And he said, "Hey, guy, show the lady a little respect. Are you kidding me?" He goes, "That's so disrespectful." And the wise guy said something back to Louis Lump Lump that I won't repeat on this family this family podcast because it was very ugly and disgusting. And Louis Lump Lump says, "No, you won't." He pulls out a gun and he shoots the guy dead right at the bar. And he actually, one of the shots missed and hit a guy sitting at a table in the leg. And then Louis Lump Lump just dropped the gun like it happened in The Godfather, you know, walked up the stairs, and a couple of cops from the 2-3 precinct were standing right there and they just grabbed him. Louis Lump Lump was 67 years old. And sort of a funny thing that happened. He was taken into the 2-3 detective squad, and Detective Pat Porteous was one of the detectives with Detective Eddie Clifford from Manhattan North Homicide Squad. They interviewed him and they asked him, they said, "Louis, why are you carrying a gun?" And he looks at them, he goes, "You haven't heard?" And they said, "No." He said, "Orange alert," meaning the terrorist alert. Like he was carrying a gun because the terrorist alert was elevated in 2004, which everyone found to be funny. And it was like, actually, I think on the front page of the New York Post or the Daily News the next day. He was carrying a gun because of Orange Alert, which was totally a joke. But, you know, so the investigation of the murder at Rayo's, I mean, it wasn't a whodunit. The guy was caught walking up the stairs outside the restaurant by a couple of cops from the 2-3 who were parked out there with their van. Hello from Seattle. Great seeing you from Seattle. Webby Bird. Jeanette W. What does that mean, Jeanette? I'm not sure. Yeah, so that was the quick, unabridged version of the Rayos murder, and but it sort of added to their mystique, like as this wise guy place. The NYPD, when they have restaurants that have like mob activity, they put them on what's called the corruption-prone list, and Rayos happened to be on the corruption-prone list. Tara Ellis, factual breakdown. I guess I need a new bucket then. LOL. Hello, Blondie 1025. Nice to see you. So anyone else in the chat that watched the Chaz Palminteri show last night? Because you know, I just want to hear what your take was on it. As I said, sometimes on YouTube it's strange. Great guests, great shows don't get a big audience unless you talk about a national story. And we were just talking about Chaz and his acting. Shannon Georgia Peach, yes, best show, Bill. Thank you, Shannon Georgia Peach. I'm glad to hear. Maui Swift, awesome. Michelle, I went to New York on vacation. You said it was a scary city. Wow. Well, you can watch the Chaz Palminteri show. It'll be up there, and you can watch it, you know, not live, obviously, but he also does his, thanks, Scott Wagner, great show. Robo Kathy, I did, fantastic show. He also does a one-man show, and he's doing it now, you know, and I would love to go, but I'm going to wait till my wife heals so we can go together, and it would be great to go see him. He also owns 2 restaurants, one up in Westchester. That's the one I'm going to go to, so I don't have to go into Manhattan. And he owns another one on West 46th Street in the theater district, and he wasn't shy about saying it's the best Italian restaurant in the city. So, and if you don't believe that, now you can't leave. Now you can't leave. I love that, you know. That was one of the most iconic lines in motion picture history when he locked those bikers in his bar and said, "Now you can't leave." And all the guys came out of the back with baseball bats and gave all the bikers are beating. That was that was an amazing thing. Is all when you think of all the great lines in motion picture history, Clint Eastwood, "Go ahead, punk, make my day." Arnold Schwarzenegger has tons of them, right? That became so iconic. I'll be back. Everyone tries to imitate Arnold, but put him in the bathroom. That's another one, right, Angie? What was the other one? Is it better to be loved than to be feared? That's a great line too. That was another one of Chaz's lines. I always thought it would be one of the greatest things you could be in life as a profession would be to be a great writer because you're creating all these characters and you're calling the shots yourself. And the only one that can question you is your editor. And you don't have to change anything. And to be a great writer, I mean, you work when you want to work, but I guess it's a lot of pressure to have to sit down every day and be inspired and write. We have some great cops. Michael O'Keefe, he's written like three or four novels, and I ask him about how he does it and sits down and just gets inspired to write. And hopefully one of his books one day will become a major motion picture. That's when I'm reaching out for a part. Michelle Marty's, you want to go to Chaz Palminteri's restaurant? I do too. I think that he's got that Sicily connection in his family, and I sort of feel that the food's got to be amazing. Jeanette, thank you. Love the New York accent. Believe me, I'm not inventing this. Angela Lang, Lieutenant Pranzo, Harlem Raiders is a great book. I read that book. Yes, Harlem Raiders is a great book, and Lieutenant Pranzo is a great man. Kate Hill, best wishes. Thank you, Kate Hill. Yeah, something, even, whether you write books, you write songs, you write poems, how amazing would it be to be a great writer? And look, you can imagine anything, you can long to be anything, but if you don't work at things, nothing's going to just come to you. Great writers work at the craft of writing. We spoke a little bit last night about acting and how you can't just think acting just comes to you. You have to work at it. As I was talking about my buddy Cliff Moylan. He's a hard working actor. And what does that mean? That means studying your lines. That means creating a character. That means getting in character. That means constantly working on your craft, studying with other actors, doing scenes with other actors. As I said, I tried acting I took classes for 3 years, and I think I have talent, but it's what is this? There's a new case about a missing little boy. I'm sorry, I didn't get to read that fast enough to. Denise Perez, yeah, acting 100% is an art form, and you look at the great actors, the Robert De Niro's, the Chaz Palminteros, the Al Pacinos. Actually, I used to consider Robert De Niro the greatest actor, but I sort of now changed, and to me, the greatest actor is Al Pacino. I think he's a chameleon. The guy could do anything, And you think of the breadth of the different characters he's done. He's just incredible. Sierra J, thanks. My wife's doing much better. She's still got a long road ahead of her, but she's tough, and she's, it's 24 hours at a time, right? One day at a time. That's all you can do. I used to say that when I taught college to students. They'd say, "Oh my God, you want a 15-page paper?" And I'd say, "Let me teach you how to look at this. Don't look at it as a 15-page paper. Look at it as 5 3-page papers. You can write a 3-page paper, right? Okay. Then just make an outline, write 3 pages on that outline. Now the next day you do the next 3 pages. Before you know it, you have the 15-page paper." Gisela, myself and Gisela K, Grizzly Books, she's great. We love Gisela. Myself and Phil Grimaldi are going on her show tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all you Gisela K fans, you get a double dose. You get us, and you get Gisela K at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Love Gisela. I think look, she's only been doing YouTube for like 3 months, 4 months. She's got 30,000 followers. I guess she's just so much prettier than me, you know. I'm not saying it's all about being pretty, but she is pretty. And that's helped her get lots of fans too, I think. Besides that, she has a great deal of talent. But thank you, Judy Marie. Thank you so much. Watching from South Africa. Wow. Oh, that's amazing. My King of Kings. You think I'm funny, huh? How do you think I'm funny? Like, how am I funny? Luna Umbra, love that film. Marie Green, you know all about Chaz's films, right? You can pull up his bio, and you won't believe he's done over 60 movies. You know, and you know he's a total guy, man. He's a dad. He's got a daughter. He's got a son. His wife is an actress, so he's you know, he's the total package. Plus, he's a great human being. You know, and I mean, just think, he gave us a shot in interviewing him, and he did that because he heard we were cops, and we're regular guys. My King of Kings, you're hilarious, Bill. Thank you. Maybe I'll get up on the stage one day again, see if I can be hilarious ever again. We'll see. I never say no to anything. You know, that's one of the things my kids say to me. They go, you know, Dad, we like that. You know, you try all different things, whether you're good at it or not. At least you try. You know, so I think that's pretty cool. You know, to try different things in this life, because look, you've heard this a million times, but you only live once, right? You only live once. So, yeah, well, you know, something. When I first told my friends I was going to try stand up, they were like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I was like, yeah, look, if I fail, I fail. But I'm going to give it a shot. And I did it for 6.5, 7 years. And I'm not saying I'm giving it up. I'm just not doing it right now. It's just too much for right now. I got too much going on, you know. Scott Wagner, it was pretty funny working for you. I hope it wasn't that funny. I hope there's a lot of serious moments, you know. Nowie Swift takes a lot of guts. Yeah, you know something? Stand-up comedy is an art form that it's so much. It's different than acting, and it's not easy. I'll tell you, it's not easy at all, man. Marie Green, I bet you're a fantastic dad, Bill. Like, you know, you can only ask my sons. You know, you see yourself. When you have kids, you see yourself in a certain way, and then you wonder how your kids view you. Do they think I'm like super strict? Do they think I'm super quirky? Do they think I'm whatever? You know what I mean? You see yourself differently than others see you sometimes. Anyone out there in the chat want to try stand-up comedy? It's easy enough to do. You can just go to your local open mic and they'll give you 5 minutes. Usually it costs $5 to do 5 minutes. Wow, Guy Dzensky, good morning from Hong Kong. Hello, LAPD, life after the police department. I love that, Angie. Then why don't you try stand-up comedy, Angie? Marie Green, Houston City Lights, Block the Stars. I love Billy Crystal's stand-up. Yeah, Billy Crystal was great in his day. Some of my favorite stand-ups are Bill Burr, currently Bill Burr. I think he's great. I love Sebastian Maniscalco. I think he's so great too. And the old timers, Richard Pryor. I love George Carlin. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's in a league of his own. Amazing, you know. Angela says Joe steals all my jokes and passes it as his own. Is that right? Jim Gaffigan, he's good. Not in my top 10, but I like him. My wife is doing much better, but she's got a long road ahead of her. Every day, you know, 24, one day at a time, you know. Billy Connolly, isn't he? He's an Irish. I saw him in New York, actually. He's an Irish comic, right? But a lot of the jokes have to do with being Irish, and you have to understand the lingo. You guys in the Emerald Isle have a lot of different expressions than we do here. Oh, he's Scottish. Lorne Mackenzie, Scottish. Lorna Mackenzie. Yeah, I mean, you know, jokes are jokes. I actually performed in Scotland. I forget the name of the club. The name of the club when I performed in Scotland. I mean, I was there visiting. My son was, he was studying for his master's degree at the University of Edinburgh. And we went to Edinburgh and I got to perform comedy in Edinburgh, and it was funny. One of my buddy's daughters was studying at a school, and she and her friends came, so it was like small world, you know. I was in Edinburgh. I did a comedy show in Edinburgh. About, I guess now it's got to be close to 3 years ago. Uh, no, it wasn't Cheers. I forget the name of it. If you someone said the name, I would recognize the name. But I wanted to do like 10 or 15 minutes, and they gave me five. I was like, oh come on, give me. They were like, sorry, can't give you any more time than that. I was like, all right, beggars can't be choosy, and I was in a different country, uh, and I just wanted to get up on stage, and it was great to be able to say, yeah, I performed in Europe, I performed in Scotland. You know, it was so cool. Uh, Jamie Johnson going to Scotland next year. I played guitar at a couple of, not a couple. Mark DeMeo, yeah, I remember Mark DeMeo. He's a very good comic. Mark's an excellent comic, and he performs every single weekend all over New York City, and sometimes on the road. Uh, Robin Williams doing stand-up, comic genius. Bless him. You're right. He was a comic genius. Vic DiBitetto, the guy's hilarious. Vic DiBitetto. Every time he makes a video, it gets about 500,000 views. When he goes on those rants, he's a funny guy. You know, I watch comedy on YouTube whenever I can. If I see someone who interests me, I'll play it and I'll watch it for a while. King of Kings, Mrs. Robin. Yeah, he was I thought he was a better actor than he was a comic, and of course he was a great comedic actor. I didn't love his stand-up. But I loved his when he a comedic acting and his serious acting. The guy was an Oscar level actor. You know, amazing. Not all comics are great actors, and vice versa. Not all actors are good comics, but. Yeah, we all miss Robin Williams. Great guy. Hello, Linda Petrovich. Good to see you. I haven't seen you around the last few times, but I recognize the name. Good to see you. Uh, his older stand-up was incredible. Maui Swift. Great to see you, Maui. Uh, Michael McIntyre is really good. There's tons and tons of comics. Guys, I'm approaching 35 minutes, and I don't want to do it really much more than that. I just wanted to come up and say hello to you guys. Tonight we're going to be live at 9 o'clock. Myself and Phil Grimaldi. We're going to talk about some of the new things happening in the Gabby Petito case. I know there's been a lot of coverage on this. The hunt, of course. Thank you, Linda Petrovich. The hunt for Brian Laundrie, of course, continues, and we're hoping that. Thank you, Factual Breakdown. We got to get to 25 subs. You know, what do they say? Slow and steady wins the race. It's like the turtle keeps marching forward. We're the turtles of the YouTube channel, but we're getting there. We're getting there, you know. Yeah. So anyway, so the hunt is still on for Brian Laundrie. No one seems to know where he is. There's a lot of conjecture on all the different channels, and people claim we're breaking news. Whenever you see breaking news, you know it's not breaking. You know, in the 24/7 news cycle, there's very little breaking news, you know. But we can give you our updates, and I think you guys know, if you've been listening to us for a while, we're pretty damn honest, you know. We're not going to throw stuff out there that we can't verify. We're not going to throw stuff out there for sensational reasons. And everyone's talking about why this case has become as popular and has just blown up the internet, and not just nationally but internationally on this case. And there's many factors to that, and we can discuss that. We'll probably touch upon that tonight too. But here I am. I don't know how many more episodes. I was already kissing these yard episodes goodbye, but it's so beautiful out here today. And as long as there's not snow falling around me and I'm slipping on the deck here, maybe I'll do a couple more shows from out here. I love coming out to the yard, you know. Factual Breakdown, you're right. That could have been Gabby, could have been anyone's daughter that happened to, you know. So folks, I'm just Bye, Marie Green. Luna Umbra. See you later. Great to see you here, Marie. So tonight, if you guys are around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, uh, thank you guys for all your prayers. And 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, myself and Phil Grimaldi, and I don't know, maybe I'll even give the great Joe Murray a ring and see if he wants to grace us with his presence tonight. Every time I call him, he's like, "Yeah, of course I'll come on. I love coming on." So guys, God bless, and thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for being part of the Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories family. Good afternoon.